This is your sleepless cod sorry, too used to making Percy Jackson once again, with a new what if. What if Frank Castle, aka called the Punisher, was a governmental experiment? Now, this what if is a little bit different than my normal what if because it is still set in the universe of what Frank Castle is set in. I think it's the Marvel universe, yes, because it's the Marvel universe. So it's still set in that universe, but with a little bit of changes. Number one, Frank Castle at this time is now 18 years old. Young Frank Castle. What happened was a lot different, though. When he was driving his new truck that he just got off the lot, nice old truck, he was driving around with his younger brother, Jacob. So he has three brothers. He's the oldest, Frank. His second oldest, the person in his passenger, Jake, and then he has his baby, so he has 18, 16, and then he has a 4-year-old little brother. And he was driving. Now, his family, to put in some context into this, his family is not the richest family. They're not dead ass broke, but they're on the edge. They're basically penny pinchers, but they live a happy life. They don't live like a sad or lonely life. They live decent lives. They just kind of live. They kind of live with like saving money. They don't really think about it as much as like you and me. Like we kind of like, oh, we have expenses. They're like, yeah, we have expenses, but we also have family. Now Frank is an athlete, basketball star, football athlete, absolute Chad on the fucking court and on the track. So he is going to a full-out scholarship until this happened. He crashed. Someone on the freeway, when he was passing the road, crashed into his truck, making it fully flip over. It wasn't Frank's fault, but he blamed himself. He says, I could have been looking more. I could have been seeing. I could have thought more. I could have seen the truck. I could have done so many things, because what happened next was he broke his entire leg that took 9 months to heal, and that's all the scholarships gone. And his brothers got paralyzed from the waist down. He couldn't move his muscles. His entire legs were gone, basically. His spinal cord got broken in half, basically, and he couldn't move. And his family, who's now in debt right now because of this, can barely pay off the doctor's bill. Now, there's an organization here. There's an organization that's perfectly legal. It's part of the Weapon X organization, same like Wolverine, Captain America, and Deadpool was a part of. But it's a side branch, and this side branch is basically for military contracts. And it's like offline, online, basically. Like the general public knows about it, but they're not really no one knows what happens inside of it. They just know it exists. So what happens is Frank, who needs some money right now and needs it quick, joins the military branch of that company. And what happens is when they join, it's an instantaneous salary. It's an instantaneous $1,000 to their parents, just $1,000. And every year that he lives, another year is another. It's another $1,000 increase. So it'll be $2,000 the second year, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, all the way up to the maximum number of years, 10 years you can live. That you can live in that military branch, 10,000. Most people don't get up to that 10,000. So like the longest running person that's ever went into this military branch was about 6 years. About 6 years of their life in there. So $6,000, well, increasing, but like still a lot of money. That was the military rank until Frank Castle came along. Frank Castle signed up for the maximum number of years of 10.
So he's 18 now. He will be 28 when this is all over. And when this is all over, he has learned a different type of fucking massacre. See, this military branch in the sense of the word is like an assassin unit. It's like Black Ops, but worse, because there is no government controlling them. There is no nation understanding them. There is no like regulations, like things that hold people back. They have nothing on that. So like governmental like uh like border laws and like like nation laws and like payment. They don't give a fuck about that shit. They said whoever's paying us the most is who we're going to fight for, and if we have to fight dirty, we'll fight dirty. They already fight a little bit dirty because they give their units stems, basically. So what this called stem is basically adrenaline boost so fucking hard that some people actually die from it, just fucking perish. Now they recruit everyone: weed smokers, not athletes, drug dealers, pimps, anyone that comes into it, they recruit. And what they do is the first thing, and Frank Castle had to deal with this, is a questioning and then mind transfer. Now, what mind transfer is a quick learning process of military training. What they will do is they'll lock you up to a machine for like 2 months, and you will remember every single memory of every single military soldier that they have recruited. So that could be like 400 memories. Now, the second thing that they do is they put in your body, in the back of your skull, about a good enough explosives, in a nice word to say, a good enough amount of explosives to get a good enough amount of area. And Frank had to deal with this all. Now, most people can't deal with this shit, can't deal with the process, and after that fucking kill themselves. The lucky few that live through that shit go into war. And they give them a gun, 3 ammunitions, a pistol, and a knife. That's all they get. And there's ranking to this. So there's recruit, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Recruit doesn't get shit. So they're basically basic body armor, basic shit, no customizations, just fighting. Level 1 gets a new exoskeleton, aka like a mix between 40k armor and Halo armor. Like just a mix between those two, kind of like that mix between. So like a mix between those armors. 40k experiment Spartan armor. So they'll cut you open and they'll add like extra hearts and extra body parts to make you stronger, and they upgrade your muscles and they like upgrade your bone structure. They're hard enough so you can handle the weight. And then that's the next process, and a lot of people die after that as well. And if you can handle all of that, you can get a lot of you get start. You're now just a machine. Frank Castle was a fucking monster, because how you get to these levels is kills, is murder people. So from recruit to level 1 is 100 kills. Most people die doing recruit. Frank Castle is a lucky few who fucking killed like a massacre man. He got 100 kills his first mission, 250 kills his second mission, all the way up to 500 kills. So level 2, 500 kills, his fourth mission, and he kept on going to get to level 3. And he customized his armor. So his helmet, like a glass helmet kind of case, same as like the Spartan armor I was talking about, is basically like not smashed, but kind of crushed to a skeleton, to a skull, and his entire like chest plate is like a skull. So he's fucking just killing people, massacring them. and he's still trying to, like, he's lived through hell. Like, remember, they don't give you a lot of ammo. They give you just enough for you to survive. Even the top tiers of top tiers, they don't give you a lot. And you don't get a resupply unless you get back. And you're still drugged up as shit. Remember, the adrenaline boost is still going on. They're still pumping you with adrenaline. You get 3 shots on the battlefield, basically. You get those 3 shots, and then you're done, and then you keep on. And after that, you go back, you resupply, then you go back with 3 other shots. So you are basically just a machine to them. They don't give a fuck about you, and you just ran into battle. Frank Castle has just gotten so many kills. The paperwork they have like level, like, do you want recruits? Do you want level 1? Do you want level 2? You want level 3? Or do you want Frank fucking Castle? Now also, they keep everyone's name completely blacked out of the network. So it's not actually like Frank Castle, but you want nicknamed nowadays to keep his identity safe, the Punisher. Now, he is learning military tactics while doing this, and his body's basically gaining strength. Plus, he's gaining basically resistance to poison. Because slowly enough, his body's getting resistant to the drug, and they have to keep on pumping him through more. Plus, everything that they do to him is like, they keep him in top tier position and body temp because they don't want him there. He's their prized possession. And when those 10 years are coming up, they get scared because they don't know what they're going to do next. Because when Frank Castle comes to the battlefield, their bodily cost goes down to minimum because they have to pay for all that kind of stuff, like planes, guns, bullets. He fucking drops that shit because it's one person against an army, and he fucking wins. They don't know fucking how, but he fucking wins. So when that 10-year time frame comes up, they get scared. So they try to put him into suicide missions, basically things that would kill him, or kill a normal person. Or they think they would kill him, but they fucking don't, because it's Frank fucking Castle. Frank Castle just kills everyone. And those 10 years are up, and they sign him off. And he's back. Now, when he comes back into the real world, he is dropped off in a little town called, it was just fucking somewhere in Arkansas. I don't know what Frank Castle goes to, at least. It's a random place he doesn't know about. He drops him off with a bag of clothes, a t-shirt, some shorts, and shoes. That's it. And he's like walking through the area. It's a smallish kind of town, very little people. The sign outside literally says 200 people, 500 cows. So like more cows than actual people. And he looks and he says, he sits down on a park bench. His eyes are green in color. Like, and when I mean green, I mean like a dark shade of green, to the point where they're almost bloodshot. Where they are bloodshot, but his eyes are so in depth. And there's an old guy, about the age of like 75-ish, reading a newspaper, and he says, "Hey, old fella, can I see that real quick?" As he looks over and says, "Yeah, go ahead." He passes over the newspaper as he starts reading. Now, Frank is just trying to get different news, just like, "Oh, there's a new president when I was gone." He starts reading, and he sees a picture of his family, and they're highly rich. When I mean highly rich, I mean highly, highly rich. I guess with the money that they spend on the doctor's bill, paid it. Like, he's just, the first 2 years of him military service paid off the doctor's bill. But The rest of the money went into stocks, into networks. And actually, they hit big. They hit like a lot of companies. Like they hit Tesla before it launched. They actually hit like uh, smartphones and all that things that launched off like in the technology network, and they got rich quick. And he looks at his family. They're all like staying out of like a kind of not really a big house, but like a pretty big house, smiling. Even his brother, who is now in a wheelchair, like a motorized one. And he says, we can, and then like on the top of that newspaper he's reading, it's like, all of this wouldn't happen if we're because of our beautiful son who did the sacrifice that he did, Frank Castle. And Frank looked at it and shut the newspaper and says, "Oh, good article. The family deserved it." He's like, "Oh yeah, got hit rich, got lucky." It's like, "Oh, got lucky. I guess you can say that." So where's the closest town from here? It's like the closest town, like big city. It's like, yeah, big city, like an hour and 50 minutes away. So he said, okay. I'm guessing there's no Ubers here, is there? He says, "Oh, Sonny boy, you're not close. You're not gonna get an Uber here at all. Closest thing we get an Uber here is for the old people. That's a bus." But does that bus go to Rapid? Like a bigger city? The guy says, "Oh, sometimes every couple of weeks, interesting." Lowers his hand. He's shaking his hand like he's not used to being undrugged. Like he's tensed up now. His body's not like used to being like not moving, not killing, not sight. So him just sitting here talking to this man, not doing anything, is like making him shaking. He's like, as the old man says, "You good?" He says, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just hands not done, not used to moving." It's like, "You're not used to not holding a gun, are you?" So he says, "I guess so." "I get it, kid. I get it. But just keep on walking. You'll be fine." And he hops off his bag and he says, "I got you, guy. I got you." And he starts walking. Hitchhiking sometime, getting a ride from some people. Until he finally hits where his old family's house was. And now his old family's house has been like remade and remodeled. And it's now bigger. And the land has grown more. He has more, their family has more land. And he can see out like pastures. And he sees his little brother. That was 4 at the time. He's now 14, riding a horse. From like the vantage point. He sees his mom. Last time he saw her, he was 30. She was 32. She's now 40. His dad with gray hairs now. And his younger brother, who was so young when he last saw her. You gotta also understand that he didn't age. Frank didn't age that much either. He looks like he's 28, but he looks like he's 23. Like the experiments, what they did on him, they slowed him down by so much. His body hasn't grown old. His muscles didn't grow old. His body didn't grow old. So, he can't. He's on a vantage point of like on like a kind of large building. He just kind of looks over and he just says, "I can't come down there." It's like the demons, like the demon and the angels. Like angels, like why can't you? He says, "Because that's not my family no more. That's the people I loved." And demon's like, "Yeah, you can't go back." You gotta repent. It's like, repent. What can I repent more? What can I dig more? It's like, the angel looks over and he says, you didn't repent. You kind of just ran. As he, like, Frank just looks over and he just says, fuck you all, bitches. As the demon says, you can say all you want, but you know it's true. You ran. You did help. I'll say that. You did help. But you ran. You didn't say sorry, as the angel says. Now go say sorry. As the demon says, no, you can't. All you can do is go back to normal life. As he looks down at his wallet with a card. The card that he got from the people that he worked with infinite money, basically. He has enough money to live a life that he doesn't care. His demon says, go live. Get a job, do something. But you can't go back. As the angel says, you gotta go back, but the angel starts to fade the voice. As only the demon is left, and he says, go. As Frank leaves, walks, as his own body and mind just starts to like think, what can I get? And then he looks over at a bar, an old bar, that says, willing to hire. As this is where we're going to end off the video. I hope you guys like this video. It's a new feeling for me. I never, have done Frank Castle before, but he's an interesting character. But I'll see you guys later. Just remember to subscribe, comment down below about, how fucked up you are. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.